It's not only a war of Russia against Ukraine, it's a global war. I don't know any country which doesn't feel the consequences of this war of aggression.
Very strong message from the Ukrainian prosecutor general speaking before the House Foreign Affairs Committee about the ongoing reports of war crimes committed by Russia. And this also comes as NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg made his first visit to Ukraine today since the war began. Last November, NATO said that Ukraine would become the latest country to join the organization as a NATO member. During a press conference, NATO's chief reiterated the alliance's commitment to Ukraine. Meanwhile, the U.S. announced plans to send an additional round of military aid as Ukraine prepares for a spring offensive. I want to bring in now Paul Rykov to talk more about some of these developing situations in Ukraine and on the battlefield. He's a national security and political analyst, as well as the host of the Independent Americans podcast. Paul, happy Thursday to you. Good to see you, as always. Let's start with NATO and the fact that the NATO chief making this surprise visit to Ukraine, first time since the war started, so the timing is not lost on us. Here's a little bit more about what he had to say.
Ukraine's rightful place is in NATO. And over time, our support will help you make this possible.
So there you have it. How would this, if it comes to fruition sooner than later, change the trajectory of this war?
Well, Maria, I think what everything is coming together around is the spring offensive. This is like, I never want to make a comparison to sports, but this is like the massive pregame buildup. You've got both sides putting all pieces in place. You've got Zelensky making a visit to his troops on the front line. You've got Putin doing the same. You've got NATO pouring in leadership into the region. You've got our Secretary of Defense making a visit. You've got our ammunition and our weapons on the way. And it's all culminating in what looks like a spring offensive that could really change the tide of the war. They've been stalemated in Bakhmut for a long time now, and the spring offensive has been talked about for months. I've been talking about it on your air for weeks, and now it looks like it's finally coming. And all this is building to that moment where Ukraine could turn the tide of this war and finally go on offense for the first time really in a year.
So does welcoming Ukraine as a member of NATO change any of the momentum that they're seeing? Is that something that you anticipate they would wait to do as so much attention is being paid to the next big fight?
I think they should have done it a long time ago. I mean, I think that Ukraine has proven they can be a valuable asset to NATO. Militarily, they've got now the most battle-tested military on the planet. They're a motivated, dedicated ally, and I think they'd be an obvious addition to NATO. Whatever bureaucracy is in the way seems to be slowing down the aid and political support that Ukraine needs in this moment. So I'm all in on them joining NATO, and I wish it would have happened already. So I think whatever bureaucratic hurdles are in the way should be blown out of that way so that these guys can get down to business and try to win this war that's really about the West and about freedom and about all of NATO's interests.
But an attack against one considered an attack against all. If Ukraine is part of NATO, then the U.S. is without a doubt, and so many others, in this war.
We already are. I mean, I think that's the bottom line here is, you know, this has been a war we've been pulled into now for a year. We've done everything except send our own boots on the ground. So Abrams tanks are on the way. Patriot missiles are on the way. Another slot of about $300 million worth of weapons is on the way. That's the 36th installment, almost $36 billion we put in there altogether. So the U.S. is in this war. NATO is in this war. And I think now it's just a matter of politics with regard to NATO, the EU, and other alliances like that.
So the Patriot missile systems you just brought up, it sounds like they're going to be put into place pretty soon. Are they going to be the game changer that so many anticipate they might be?
I think so. You know, I've trained on them and I've been around them, and we saw in the Gulf War and in the Iraq War how much of a difference they can make. I mean, they can really help Ukraine secure the skies, knock down cruise missiles, knock down any kind of air attacks, and I think it can create kind of a global shield around their operating forces to provide additional cover up above while they continue to move on the ground. So it's going to be complementary. It's going to be the Patriots covering overhead and the Abrams tanks coming on the ground as we build toward an offensive the likes of which we may not have seen since Stalingrad in World War II. I mean, the intensity of this fighting, the hand-to-hand fighting, the trench warfare that we've seen is really like nothing in modern times. So it's all building toward what could be a very bloody, very costly, and potentially very long fight for the future of this war.
How soon, Paul, are you hearing the spring offensive will happen? Is it a guess at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the Ukrainians have made it clear that they're keeping this close hold, and only a couple folks in their leadership are going to know, especially after the leak on the American side recently. That was really a problem for everyone. I think they're going to keep it close hold. I think one day, you're going to pop up with breaking news and say the spring offensive has begun. They shouldn't tip their hand. They don't want to give the enemy that advantage. And I know they've been building toward it for months. So this will be something to watch, and from a media standpoint, something to cover like we haven't seen maybe since the invasion of Iraq. The scope and scale of this is going to be really tremendous, and I hope that the American public can keep its attention on this in the midst of everything happening here at home.
The House Oversight Committee speaking about the withdrawal of troops in Afghanistan, American troops, the possibility of U.S. weapons falling into the Taliban's hands. I want to take a listen here and get your thoughts.
The threat environment in Afghanistan is bad, and it's getting worse. The fear is that they'll turn it against us and our allies.
That's likely one aspect that will come back to bite us.
You and I have talked about this before. You think the U.S. could be doing better here?
Absolutely. I mean, the withdrawal of Afghanistan was a catastrophic security failure, political failure, military failure. I think we need, really in-depth investigations to get to the bottom of why it went so badly. This is separate from our occupation in Afghanistan. It's about really those last critical months and how badly it was handled, how badly the political leadership handled it, how badly they were just projecting how severe the threat was. And also, I think we've got to re-examine how bad things are in Afghanistan right now. Our allies have still been left to die. The Taliban is in full control. Women and girls are being oppressed and killed and can't go to school. And I think we have a responsibility, a moral responsibility. I think many American veterans in particular feel a very deep connection and a moral responsibility to the people of Afghanistan. And we feel like our political leadership isn't holding up their end of the deal.
Always appreciate your thoughts on that. We'll leave it there for this afternoon. Paul Rieckhoff, national security political analyst, host of the Independent Americans podcast. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Marnie. Appreciate it.
After